So in this next few minutes, I'll be talking about a quick review of the iPhone 12 6.1 inch, which starts in Malaysia at around 3,900 ringgit. This is slightly more expensive than the iPhone mini, which starts at 3,400 ringgit. Also in this video, I'll be talking about the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is in this form factor. It starts at 5,300 ringgit in Malaysia, and the slightly smaller design at 6.1 inch is the iPhone 12 Pro, which starts at 4,900 ringgit. So in this video, we'll be going through some features of both the iPhones. We'll also be talking about the industry of the iPhone and where Apple is going next using these kind of devices. And they did have a very fantastic product launches these past few weeks, so we'll take it slow and we'll take it cool. Let's start with the iPhone 12. Design's just really beautiful. It has a brand new design which harkens back to that whole iPhone 4S days many years ago. It sits flushed within the casing. It has a 6.1 inch display with a smaller form factor, so it's effectively smaller, thinner and lighter. It features the aerospace grade aluminium flat edges, and they're introducing ceramic shield, which is tougher than any smartphone glass, and it comes with an IP68 resistant rating, and from what we understand is that you can actually withstand 6 feet underwater for 30 minutes. Not that we are recommending you to go scuba diving with these kind of iPhones, but if you tend to forget that you're holding an iPhone while you scuba dive, maybe, well, you have half an hour before your phone conks, or at least that's when the rating ended. The other small thing is that because it sits flushed and because of the grills within the speaker system is actually quite well done, such things like, you know, taking pictures at the beach, sand issues like water issues, sand resistant, all that can be avoided, and this phone is said to be sand resistant. Some commentators did talk about how they wanted the refresh rate for the phone to be a little bit higher, but for now I think that's enough to work with, because at 120 Hz, what else do you need, right, when we talk about refresh rates for screens? And because of that, the color contrast is also better, and all this is powered by the A14 Bionic chip, because this is the fastest chip in a smartphone, the first built on a 5nm process technology, very much similar to what we saw earlier this week when Apple did their special event introducing the M1 chip, and, you know, just basically dropping the Intel chipsets altogether. So this 5nm performance chip is really fast, really good compared to all the other chips out there, and we're already happy with the A13 Bionic chip that is in the iPhone 11, so I'm pretty sure that the A14 performance is going to be far better than that. We're also looking at the first iPhone with 5G, and while this is a 5G enabled iPhone, Apple's not marketing it in Malaysia to be 5G enabled just yet. Perhaps the reason is because the telcos themselves are not 5G enabled, and the reason for that is because the government has not allocated spectrum for the telcos, and the reason for that is because the government did allocate, but then they retracted the allocation based on further discussions with the stakeholders. So there's a lot of regulatory requirements that are currently happening at the government level before they can actually allocate spectrum to the telcos, and before the telcos can actually roll out the 5G for the consumers. So until and unless all that takes place, right now iPhone in Malaysia at least is not being marketed as 5G, but the iPhone 12 is 5G enabled. So that's a clear factor there. So if you go around and shop for the next iPhone 12 and you don't see any 5G statements there, rest assured that this is a very much a work in progress between the telcos and the government and Apple altogether, but this is indeed 5G enabled already. I don't know whether if you go to a 5G country, it can run immediately just like that if you just slap on a SIM card in a new country that already has 5G. but let's face it, the reality is as such where we're not traveling much anyway in the next few months, so that's something that is a worry that you don't have to think about right now. At 6.1 inch, you would think that working it with one hand is a little bit difficult. It's not, because the screen is actually sitting flush at the case, so you can actually move around your fingers, move around your thumb with a one hand movement quite easily, so that's not a problem. And of course, we're looking at two things here if you want to buy an iPhone 12. If you're a gamer, the GPU and the CPU standards is actually very high. It has super smooth graphics. You can play games like League of Legends on the iPhone for the first time. Console quality games can be brought into the iPhone, so that's something that you can think about. Now, if you're like me, I don't play games that much on my iPhone, other than chess or Sudoku, which is just to help me go to sleep or take a nap, right? But I do take a lot of photography. I do take a lot of videos, and it's because that is very much directly correlated with my work, my day job. So I rely on my iPhone tremendously to get my work done and to be productive. And because of the neural engine that is running in this iPhone right now, it's really going to be better than the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 10. And the dual camera system that it has right now for the iPhone 12 does feature a camera that is powered by the A14 Bionic chip. The wide camera with the fastest aperture ever on iPhone captures 27% more light. We're looking at 1.6 aperture, and because of that, you're going to be able to take low light quality photos really well. And because of that, this does bring about the conversation of whether or not this iPhone is the next step that you want to go to from whatever phones that you're running right now. I'm assuming that if you are watching this video, you are already in the Apple ecosystem, and because of that, you want to upgrade yourself from whatever iPhone that you have right now, and thinking about whether or not the iPhone 12 is a good buy. Decision-making process, do think about the kind of capabilities that this iPhone can do in low light setting. Night mode and deep fusion are now on all cameras, and the Smart HDR3 detects scenes for even more true-to-life photos. Video recording gets even better with improved low light, and if you have the AirPods Pro, you can actually have spatial surrounding audio, so you're watching 4K Dolby Vision on visual and spatial audio on your AirPods Pro. Essentially, you have an entire cinematic experience right in your hands, and that is something that is very difficult to duplicate with other devices out there in the market right now. You can find duplications, that's possible of course, but if you want a straight up answer to creating the most effective cinematic experience for yourself, get the iPhone 12 and get the AirPods Pro, and all that comes together about 6,000 to 7,000 ringgit, and you get that cinematic experience. It can be done, that's what I'm trying to say. So these two kind of segments for gamers and as well as photographers and videographers and people who take a lot of photos, people like my wife for instance takes a lot of photos, this is indeed taking that level up one step up. So from the iPhone 12, we move on to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Just like the iPhone 12, Apple is not marketing this in Malaysia with 5G capabilities. Same story, it's not because this phone doesn't have 5G capabilities, it has, but because the telcos in Malaysia have not rolled out the 5G, and because of the spectrum allocation, the reason because of that is because the government hasn't given out the spectrum allocation because talks are ongoing, as mentioned earlier. So yes, all that is while all that is happening, Apple is not marketing this as 5G, but that doesn't mean it's not 5G capable or enabled. It is for now. We just can't experience that 5G with these iPhones just yet in Malaysia for now, but perhaps things will change that. So let's talk about the whole strategy of Apple putting this flagship phone on the market. This is the best right now that Apple can put the phone on the market right now. And remember, it's not the best time to be a consumer company. even if you are Apple. Around the world, people are losing jobs, purse strings are getting smaller and getting more tighter. People are postponing big ticket purchases to a later date. They have to solve all their problems today in terms of making sure that daily expenditures are being met. People have lost jobs because of the pandemic. With all this in place, Apple has gone onto the market introducing an iPhone that might not be able to be sold, not because of the the inferiority issues surrounding the device, but because the market itself can't really support growth, at least towards the end of this year and early 2021. But that set aside, let's take a look into the best iPhone that Apple has put onto the market. We'll start off with the form factor. They have introduced 4 colors: graphite, silver, gold, and Pacific blue. I have with me the Pacific blue iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I've seen some reviews with the gold and silver as well as the graphite. It's nice, but this is the choice that I would go after, because the cool design and the cool factor of it makes it a unique experience for me to actually enjoy putting this phone on the table and carrying it around in my hand. One thing to note though, because of the Pacific blue design, it seems darker in real life as opposed to on the computer screen if you go about and browse. And because it seems a little bit darker, the lenses are going to seem to be a little bit darker as well. So you're going to be able to have that experience where everything is going to be all black. So I don't know whether that is something that you want to think about when you want to choose Pacific blue as your new iPhone 12 Pro Max. Flushed in terms of the display. Everything is just like the iPhone 12. It has an all-new flat edge design with stunning stainless steel, textured matte back glass, ceramic shield that they have introduced. They claim to be tougher than any other smartphone glass in the industry right now. It's IP68 rated, and of course it appears flushed in terms of the screen size. But the issue here is that it's huge. It's huge. You can't really operate with one hand that well. You can't. And to say that I have small hands is actually an understatement. But the issue here is the screen is just too large. So you're looking at two-handed operation here. But a person like me who use the iPhone for work, serious work, because I do TV interviews, I do podcasts, I do a lot of content creation, editing, video editing on the phone as well. All this is happening in real time. Then I would really appreciate a bigger screen size, which I do get from the latest iPhone 12 Pro Max at 6.7 inch. This is indeed the screen size that I'm very much comfortable to work with, so that one-handed operation is not really a thing or an issue for me. So it is a powerhouse that I'm looking for an iPhone. I got one and screen size is okay, so I'm not complaining about the one-handed single operation there. We're looking at a pro camera system here, just like the iPhone 11 that we saw last year. In fact, the strategy here is about the same as well, except that the camera system is actually improved a bit for the iPhone 12. The iPhone 12 comes with a camera system with an ultra-wide lens and telephoto camera powered by the A14 Bionic. So this gives pros even more control and improves every photo and video taken. The iPhone 12 Pro features a new f1.6 aperture wide camera. This is indeed the fastest aperture capture that they can bring to the market right now. And also the telephoto camera comes with a 52mm focal length that offers 2 times optical zoom for framing great portraits. The ultra-wide camera offers a 120-degree field of view, and it captures even more scene. The camera system on the iPhone 12 Pro Max features the ultra-wide camera and takes it further with an even better wide camera that combines f1.6 aperture and a 65mm focal length telephoto camera with closer shots and tighter crops. And this delivers 5 times optical zoom range. This enables you to capture low light videos and photos like never before on an iPhone. Now, a lot of people are going to say, all the other phones out there, the Huawei, the Samsungs, are already performing better than the iPhone, low light technology, and while that is open for debate, the iPhone 12, because of the A14 Bionic chip, neural engine network working together with the lenses, i.e. hardware and software working together, you're going to get really good low light photos with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And the record 10-bit HDR video with Dolby Vision up to 4K at 60 frames per second does deliver this fantastic range and rock steady video. What I understand and what I tried out with this phone is that I don't need to use my gimbal anymore. I just don't, because the internal system stabilizing factor in the iPhone 12 enables me to take super smooth video even when I'm walking without any problems. So in fact, it's more natural for me to just hold my phone like this instead of putting it on a gimbal and moving it around. The days of me using a gimbal is over with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's clear. And because of that, if that's one reason why I want to upgrade my phone from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 12, it's because of that stabilizing factor for video capture. And because we're always on the move, people like me, we take a lot of videos, a lot of camera, a lot of content creation on the move. I need super fast, super quick reaction for me to be able to access my device, record the content, and publish the content really quick. I want the best experience throughout the whole process, end to end, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max answers that question hands down. So it's without any doubt, if you're a pro user and if you are thinking about using your phone a lot in terms of creating content, in terms of creating videos, and you have money to spare in this economy, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is actually going to solve a lot of your, problems. So let's talk a little bit more about the LiDAR scanner, right? Because the iPhone 12 Pro Max does bring about that whole LiDAR in photo. So what is LiDAR, right? LiDAR is, of course, light detection and ranging. And LiDAR scanner delivers faster, more realistic AR experience and dramatically improves autofocus in low light scenes for better accuracy and reduced capture time in photos. And this combines with Apple's advanced camera system and neural engine in A14 Bionic chip. The LiDAR scanner enables night mode portraits for beautiful low light bokeh shot and portrait shot. It's fantastic actually right now. And with the camera system that offers 12 megapixel true depth camera, this can elevate the selfies in night mode and deep fusion now on the true depth cameras, and selfies do come to life with the HDR video and Dolby Vision up to 4K, up to 30 frames per second with incredible stabilization. It's really and the proof is in the pudding. I have done a few interviews just on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, i.e. using the internal microphone. I'm not using any external microphone. I had a full-length conversation with the people I interviewed on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. No alteration, no assistance from all the other devices that I have around me, just the phone, and it was good. I mean, really good, better than my mirrorless camera that I'm using right now. And of course, not to say that the mirrorless camera that I'm using right now is actually extremely poor, but what I'm trying to say is the iPhone 12 Pro Max has actually met that standard of mirrorless DSLR camera on the low to mid-range end. So that is a quick answer to all your problems in terms of creating content on an iPhone. That's why this iPhone is actually really, really important for you to think about if you are a pro user. So all the other features are there, 5G, durable design, Super Retina XDR display, everything is there, and we don't have to go through all that. You can find all that information elsewhere. But for now, just take a look, just take a step back and see what Apple is going through right now. Apple has introduced the M1 chip and has rolled out on some of their devices like the Mac Mini, the MacBook Pro 13-inch, as well as the MacBook Air. that's running the M1 chip. And you know, when they launched it, they did say that the whole progress of changing all the computers running on the M1 chip will take a few years, but inevitably everything is going to move towards the M1 chip. And with the progress of iPhone, they're going to retire some of the older iPhone ranges, that's for sure. But if you want to move from whatever current system that you're on, the current iPhones that you're on, the iPhone 12 mini is a good option for you. It's good, it's fast, it's quick, it's small, and the camera system is great. That is a good point to think about. And I don't see the point of you buying the iPhone 12 Pro or the Pro Max if you're not going to be using it for serious business, for serious kind of content creation. Largely because not many people realize that they don't use every single feature that they have on the phone. But for this particular device, it's clear cut, right? You want the best phone for yourself, so you buy the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But if you want to upgrade from whatever system you have on right now to the iPhone 12 mini or the iPhone 12, and it's a good and sensible option right now. Just like when they launched the iPhone 11, you don't really need to go for the iPhone 11 Pro because the iPhone 11 does most of the work that most of you need anyway. For now, that's all I have for you. Catch you next time.